just the first question that I would ask would be, we had heard the report that Derek Forbert had been traded, and can you just share the conditions for the draft?
Conditions are going to be based off of playoff success or and also possible re-signing.
Okay. Is it the same conditions as like Vandenberg?
Similar. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he was somebody that's an unrestricted free agent coming into the season. Is that possibility?
He's dealt with a lot of injuries, back healthy playing. This gives him he's going to go there and compete for a spot. But he's been good for us here too.
Also, just one general question in the sense that, I mean, you talked about wanting to separate from weighty contracts and experience and bring in, younger players and refill that youth. Like what is that next step now that, there are no more UFAs? I don't know, Iafallo next year, but like, how do you go to phase 2 here, I guess?
Well, the phase 2 is that some of these guys have been in the American League for the year, and they're getting their experience. You saw it with Gabe here recently. I would suspect you'll see it with the defensemen eventually within the next little while here. So they've had their time to kind of groom in the American League. Ideally, you wish you had a little bit more time with them, but again, that's kind of what we're looking to do here near the end.
The 2 remaining UFAs. Lewis and Hutton, was there interest? What happened there?
There's lots of talks on all different players here today. Nothing materialized out of that, though.
Can you explain or just clarify the FERC situation? With
I read a lot on the 10-game situation and everything. Even if we went past the deadline and he played in a game, even if we paper trail and played in a game, he would still need waivers. He's got 2 years left. A team could have claimed him, but wouldn't have use him in the playoffs. But we weren't going to risk that. Okay. I think once we did those deals last week, we knew that Martin would be up here for the remainder of the season. Cal Peterson and Gabe have been loaned today.
Do you have any calls on roster players, specifically Jeff Carter?
Did I have calls on him?
Inbound calls.
Yeah, inbound, no. Like I said, there was lots of discussion, but most of it surrounding our unrestricted free agents.
Rob, saw Tim Schaller cleared waivers. Will he be eligible for Ontario?
Yes. He was assigned to Ontario today. So.
Rob, how do you sort of sum up the whole draft period and just the volume of draft capital that you've really accumulated with it as a result?
Yeah, and I think we were pretty vocal on what we were looking in returns, whether it was picks or prospects, and that started just over a year ago, and it continued into this deadline.
To follow up on that, I know you can't tip your hand towards strategy or anything like that, but with all of the picks that you have for the next two drafts, I mean, I know there's always the possibility that you can exchange picks for actual players as a package. Is that shift towards something you may consider more than in the past?
I don't know. I think our focus obviously shifts. Tomorrow morning, Mark Guinetti will be in actually on Wednesday, and now we focus on the draft. We start to know the number of picks and kind of the range that they're going to be in. So we start focusing on that, similar to what we did last year.
And sorry to monopolize everything, like what is the approach, I guess, towards independent just of the draft, but like I guess free agency and or trades around that time of the year?
Yeah, well, it's early. Obviously, defenseman wise on the left side, we're very young there. You moved Derek out, and you spoke about a couple free agents there on the left side. So there'll be some things we want to address in free agency, but we'll look at that when that comes.
Could you envision Hunt or Lewis coming back?
I think you could envision any of that, particularly. I don't see anything right now that said that would be set in stone that we wouldn't. But again, that will take place over time here.
Sure, of course.
Just to clarify on Schaller, you said he's been assigned to Ontario.
Yes.
Do you anticipate calling him back up? Or?
I don't know. A lot will be based. There's a lot of different rules in the CBA on certain types of recalls and different things. We'll have to go over to judge our roster on there. But as of today, yes, he was sent down there. Or assigned there, sorry.
Do you have an idea on what the plan will be for Gabe the rest of the year?
We do. I don't know if I'm prepared to talk about it right now. As of now, he's assigned down. We liked what we saw out of him here. It's a tough 3 and 4 nights, matching up. The excitement of his first game, bringing his family in. matching up against Colorado speed, matching up last night with McDavid, Draisaitl. It's a tough matchup for him. Todd protected him a little bit there last night, obviously, but I think we like what we saw out of Gabe. We're going to be in a similar situation with some other guys this year too.
So he's going down to Ontario to
Yes.
stay there for right now?
Well, we'll see how the roster takes place throughout the week. Yes.
So look at the players that are down in Ontario. Is there any whose development you've been impressed with or taken note of in the last?
Yeah, I think I mentioned last time here on the Mikey Eismont's had a pretty good season. He came into camp, battled hard there. The two young D and Mike Anderson and Toby, obviously. Matty Vololtz has been real good since Cal's come up here. He's been handling a lot of workload, and he's been doing a good job with that too.
You also speak just about the goaltending change, just because having traded Jack
Yeah.
Campbell, that's somebody that has NHL experience. Is
Yeah.
there any sort of target or anything? You guys always seem to get a goalie in the draft, but I was thinking
Yeah.
maybe a little bit older.
Well, I think we're comfortable with Cal and Jonathan here. Whether we have to adjust something in the American League eventually, we may look at it. But like I said, Matty's done a good job, and we put Poulin on that NHL contract to secure that depth in our goaltending.
Todd said recently he's looking for sort of those younger guys, the Amadios, the Lazats.
Yeah.
He's looking at their development over this last stretch. What are you looking at?
Todd said it the other day. It's important for those guys to show what they can do here the next 20 games. A lot of times when I speak of young, I'm talking about Gabe, Mike Ant. But we have another young group there too, in the middle there, and those guys have a lot to prove here this next stretch right now.
Is it fair to, big picture, kind of look at this as transitioning from maybe removing pieces of the past and now moving forward, it's building?
Yeah, no, 100%. And these guys that have been here and won championships, whether it's one or multiple they should be remembered and thanked for everything they've done for this organization. It's not easy a few months here because you're dealing with some very important people in the history of the LA Kings, and they've been able to do a tremendous amount. But yeah, we're moving forward in that.